We're gonna go through something that's very popular among golfers, and I know with golfers these days, everybody's chasing after Bryson and the likes of, John Rahm has shown that adding a bit of club head speed and a bit of distance to your drives will improve your scores, almost always. So what I'm gonna go through is how you can do this from a physiological or from a training perspective. Now, what's really popular on the market these days are things like these super speed golf swing sticks or swing speed sticks. These are my favorite brand, and they've been out for ages. And the concept with these is you have a club that's about 20% lighter than a standard driver, you have a club that's about 10% lighter than a standard driver, and a club that's about 5% heavier than a standard driver. And the idea is that's gonna help you basically swing faster. And what I wanna introduce to you is a way that you can do this same sort of thing, but getting your whole body's systems to essentially swing faster as well. So similar to the idea of these, we're gonna talk about what's called PAP, or post-activation potentiation training. A few golfers, less so nowadays, but definitely quite a few golfers are afraid to lift heavy weights. Now the problem is that they think heavy weights is gonna make them slower. And yes, if done improperly, that is the case. However, if you use something like post-activation potentiation, it will actually get your body to basically swing faster. So what I will always say in the gym is if you train in the gym slow, you will move slow, and subsequently that will translate over to your training or your golf game. If you train fast in the gym, it will essentially help you to swing faster, or play any sport for that matter faster. It'll help your body just adjust, and without getting too much into muscle fiber types, it'll just help you be more explosive in your movement, which is going to be very beneficial to your golf game. So post-activation potentiation is where you take a heavy weight, and you always want to lift weights on the concentric or the up part of the movement. You want to lift it as fast as you can. Now, if it's heavy weights, chances are you can't lift it as heavy. But the mistake I see is that when you get to a certain point in your lift, such as a back squat, when you hit a point where it almost feels easier, or you get what's called mechanical advantage, people will let off the gas pedal. And what I always teach my athletes is to press down on the gas pedal. When you gain that mechanical advantage, when you're standing up in a back squat or pressing in a bench press or anything, that last little bit, you should get that little pop. And if you're driving as much force into that weight as possible, that's gonna help you move that weight faster. Down at the bottom or at your end range of motion, chances are you're gonna grind through it. But again, I want you to think about moving it as fast as you can, and eventually, just like merging onto a highway with your car, you're gonna be launching that weight up. So that's number one. Number two is back to that post-activation potentiation. It's where you take a heavy movement and you combine it with a more dynamic, usually body weight style or some type of explosive movement. So for example, doing heavy back squats followed immediately by some plyometric box jumps. So you're using very similar muscles, but you're lifting something very heavy, exciting your nervous system, and then going right into something with a little bit light. So it's the same idea as what these do, the overspeed training, but done in the gym. This could be done with, for example, let's say you're doing a bench press, immediately followed by an explosive med ball press, or chest elevated push-ups. Chest elevated plyo push-ups is probably what I would suggest. You could do this with, let's say, pull-ups. Let's say you do a weighted pull-up, and then immediately after you do, let's say 5 weighted pull-ups, you drop the weight and you do just body weight pull-ups. Or if you can't do pull-ups as they are, maybe do a couple assisted pull-ups, and then you give yourself more assistance and bang out a few more pull-ups. Again, probably I would say keeping things between that 3 to 5 range for both movements. So 3 to 5 reps of the heavy movement, immediately, like 0 rest in between the second movement, 3 to 5 reps of the more explosive, lighter, easier movement. So that's taking the concept of overspeed training, what you would do at the golf course, and bringing that into the gym, which is going to help you from a what's called physiological perspective, and ultimately help you get more power in your swing. If you want more information, check us out on heroicathletics.com/golfheroic, or just shoot a message and I'd be glad to help you out.